Hey guys, Gene here with FireSprint. I want to talk to you about virtual assistants, hiring a virtual graphic designer, basically somebody outside your office, and what we do if we have to hire someone like that. I have really one big tip for you, and that is speed of process, running parallel processes, doing things at the same time. And I'll explain to you what I mean by that. When we hire, say, a virtual assistant or a graphic designer, or we need a developer to work with to help us with a project on something, we don't just hire one. What we'll do is, let's take a virtual assistant. That's a really common thing to be talking about hiring nowadays. I had a virtual assistant for a while. She was great, but in order to find her, I didn't go and interview a bunch of virtual assistants and then pick one and then try to work with her for a while. What I actually did was I did kind of an initial email interview with maybe about a dozen different virtual assistants. And I said, I'm happy to pay you for your time, but I would like you to do something for me. And one of the things I asked them to do was to dig up a list of all of the sign and graphic trade shows in the United States in 2026, for example. I gave them all the same instruction written in a way that I would communicate. And I asked them to do this for me. And I said, let me know, I'll pay you all for 5 hours of your time or whatever. I used that as kind of the interview process. The ones that did it when I asked them to do it and did a good job, I went on to have a lengthy conversation with them and make a decision whether or not to hire them full time. But what I ended up finding was out of the 12 that I hired to do that initial project, about 7 or 8 of them really didn't give me what I asked for. So that told me really fast that my communication style did not receive well with them. So they probably weren't gonna be a good fit for an assistant for me. I would have to do too much translating. I'm not talking about a language barrier. Some of them were English native speakers. I'm talking about this idea that I want to explain something in a certain way that's natural for me. Do you pick up on that? Do you understand that? Do our personalities jive or not? And then out of the 4 or 5 that I really liked, 2 of them went on to do more than I asked for. So let's say, for example, I would have asked for all the trade shows in the print and graphics industry. Well, 2 of them also gave me apparel and promotional products, and maybe got into different types of graphics communications trades and those types of shows, maybe an ad type focused, an advertising agency focused show that they added and gave me more information. So they gave me what I asked for, plus they took that next step into what I was looking for. And the thing is that this could have taken me a whole year to find the virtual assistant that I eventually settled on, but I did all this in a few weeks because I had them all doing this at the same time. Now, yes, there is a cost to it. I'm obviously paying 12 virtual assistants at the same time, but how much is your time worth? And frankly, if you're hiring a virtual assistant, you are starting to say to yourself, yeah, my time is really important. I need to do this. Graphic designer would be the same thing. You would send a set of requirements for a half a dozen graphic designers, and the ones that feed back into the information that you provided, and you're like, I really like what you've done here. They went above and beyond. You could tell that their communication style was gonna mesh with yours. Then you pick those and move on. But I believe that's how you save a lot of time with virtual assistants or just hiring people outside the office, particularly people who are working for kind of a lower wage. And it will really help you drive to find that person, individual, or company maybe that really can help take some work off your plate. I really hope this helps. I'm Gene with FireSprint. Thanks for watching.